Out of the night that covers me, dark as the pit from pole to pole, I think whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years find and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate or charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Hello, and welcome to day 46 of 100 Days of Bad Videos. So, the poem I just recited was Invictus by William H. Henley. And I recited it because that is in my toolbox of self-motivational tools. And I'm using that as an example to everyone, but to a few people in particular. As you may know, that I am not on this journey of 100 days of bad videos alone. There's a couple of friends that I have that's or doing these videos also. And one in particular, in his last video, he talked about some of the struggles that he had with doing the videos and coming up with different things and trying to put the talks together and all of that. And I thought that I would come back and do a video specifically to encourage and motivate not just the people that's doing this with me, but anyone else that follows and needs that a little bit of motivation and a little bit of inspiration. And basically, you have to have a toolbox of motivational tools for self-motivation. Now, we talked about self-motivation a couple of days ago, and we know that's part of emotional intelligence. But with that, how do we get there? And I know I gave you some strategies and all that. One of the other things, or one of the other strategies that's out that I want to talk about, is having that toolbox of self-motivational things, or things that motivate you, that you can recall or go back to when you need to self-motivate. And trust me, there's going to be times where we all have to be self-motivators. Because we're with ourselves 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So in my toolbox is poems like that. It's different sayings from different people over that I've heard over my life, in the beginning of my life, or the beginning portion of my life, before I started really getting into some poetry and learning different things. I had other things to motivate me. We all know that the get off the porch thing, that was a motivation that started when I was a teenager, or a young teenager, to help me when things got rough. I used that. As time went on, I picked up on other things to put in my toolbox, because let's face it, not everything works all the time. So you have to have a litany of things in your toolbox. And that's why I'm calling it a toolbox, because in your toolbox, you have many different tools for different jobs. And just like you need many tools for different jobs, you need many types of self-motivational tools for different times or different situations in your life. So the key is find something that speaks to you. Find something that inspires you. It could be a talk. It can be a poem. It could be a song. It could be anything. It could be a loving look from a person that you care about when you say, hey, I'm struggling, and they don't know what to say, because you can't really articulate how you're struggling or really get them to feel what you're feeling. But they care about you so much that they can give you that look, or give you a look like, I know I know you're struggling. I want to help you, but I can't because I don't know what to do. Sometimes that look alone is good enough. So the last thing I want to leave you with is another piece in my motivational toolbox. And it actually is from Zig Ziglar. Early on, he talks about, and he used to have on stage a pump. And he used to tell a story about the wells and the water being really, really deep in Mississippi, and you have to pump. And he said you have to keep pumping and keep pumping and keep pumping. And he said, and when you go to stop, you have to remember that you have to keep pumping and keep pumping. And it's hard. You get frustrated, you get tired, but you got to keep pumping and you got to keep pumping. And finally, If you pump long enough and hard enough, the water starts coming out. And once the water starts coming out, you don't have to pump as hard. Now it's just nice and easy, a nice, easy flow. And that's it. That's the thing with life. As Zig said, if you just keep pumping, you work long enough and you work hard enough, eventually you're going to get there. You don't have to work as hard anymore. You're still going to have to work, but not just as hard. So you put the work in on the front end to reap the rewards on the back end. So to everyone who needs a little bit of encouragement, keep on pumping. You're going to get there. You're going to be great. You're doing good. Just keep on pumping. Last thing I'm going to say is, as always, life gives you two choices. You can either run with the big dogs or you can stay on the porch with the pups. My name is Aaron Allen, and I choose to run with the big dogs. See you out there running.